#Feed Your Skill, #IGP. So, dear audience, you can comment in our comment box with hashtag. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Once again, welcome to our Institute of Global Professionals International webinar. And this is webinar number 709. The topic is class management through video podcast, and it's sponsored by Institute of Global Professionals. And I'm requesting all of our participants to stay with us till the end of our program because, yes, we have our honorable speaker for tonight. So don't miss it. Invite your friends in our webinar. So, my dear lovely audience, once again, I'm your host for this session, Nasreen Nisha from Bangladesh. Yes, and I hope that you all will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. So let's learn and grow together because we believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge, not holding it. So yes, don't forget to give a thumbs up to our Facebook official page and subscribe our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to give a react in our live webinar right now and invite your friends in our webinar. So dear participants, keep active in our live webinar because who knows that you will get the membership certificates from IGP. Yes. So dear participants, let's see our comment box first. Yes, and right now we have Ma'am Evelyn P. Perry already joined with us from YouTube. Sir Alex Xavier Alvarez, good evening, sir. We have Ma'am Nina. Good evening, ma'am. Yes, we have Ma'am Mary. Okay, join watching from Philippines. Okay, Ma'am Jama Benelada, Ma'am Janeline, Sir. Okay, we have Ma'am Doria, Sir Alan, who have Brutus. All right, Sir Gabriel. We have Ma'am Cheryline, Ma'am Carmela Behane. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining with us in this session. And I'm requesting once again, please share this live session in your newsfeed or timeline. You can also share this in Facebook groups, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Yes. So I think you will get benefited from this webinar. All right, so right now I'm going to share a little concept about Institute of Global Professionals. Yes, Institute of Global Professionals serves students and community resource providing holistic social work. Yes, we believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We organize our webinar, online, offline courses, etc. by best and trained speakers and coaches from all over the globe to create a best learning platform for all of you. And yes, our mission is empower people, empower our youth, and enhance. And this afternoon, we have successfully completed our webinar number 708. So this is 709. And tonight we have our speaker from Philippines. So dear participants, let's start our program with IGP's mantra or slogan, that is feed your skills. So let's welcome our honorable speaker, Ma'am Rebecca Lecambra Edry. She is Assistant Professor 3 in University of Santo Tomas Institute of Physical Education and Athletics. All right, so let's welcome to ma'am with a round of virtual applause. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Good evening as well. And I hope our audience are a bit excited as I am excited to present to you my study about the instructional interactive video material and the traditional method in teaching football skills. And that is my input for physical education curriculum enrichment. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
and I am from the University of Santo Tomas. I am into teaching there's football classes and as well as table tennis. But then I would like to concentrate on the study that I did for the instructional interactive video. And I would like to show it to you, but then I wasn't, permitted because of the copyright issue, which is quite normal. So, can I start with my presentation, ma'am?
Sure, ma'am. Yes.
All right. So then again, the title of my presentation goes Instructional Interactive Video Material and the Traditional Method in Teaching Shooting Skills in Football. Of course, this is an input for physical education curriculum enrichment. Now, before I continue with that, let me tell you how I did that instructional video. It has always been my dream to create something which comes from me. It should be me that will demonstrate in front of my class, especially on the physical education side, because I believe you can make them learn more if it is you who will demonstrate what you are supposed to teach. I believe that each one of us has this talent to create a particular thing for our students. So because of that concept, my institute asked me to go on a series of courses, seminars before I have to do this video. And finally, I did. And I was able to present this to the Asian Football Confederation that was held in Malaysia. And this was done and presented in a poster presentation. All right. So the core reason for this is to determine the effectiveness of the instructional video material and compare it with the traditional lecture demo method in teaching football shooting skills. Now, this video has been very, very effective because of the pandemic wherein we need to go virtual, right? So we just cannot go demonstrating our craft in front of our class because we have to do the enriched virtual mode of education, which is online. So the video that I created has been very, very useful nowadays because of the pandemic that we are having. I thought of this a while ago and said, what would it be like we providing instructional video to our students more than giving um, a live demonstration to them? Now, this one has been conducted to the second year physical education classes of the University of Santo Tomas, male and female. I created two groupings. This is an experimental study. So I created two groupings in my class, one for Monday morning and another Wednesday morning. So I tried experimenting on them using the instructional video that I did. So this is an experimental type of study. So the same environment has been done to them. Um, the students, during the time of assessment for the pretests, they really do not know anything about football, right? So they have this zero knowledge on football on what am I going to teach. The students' pre-test and post-test was the focus of comparison to ascertain which of the two methods, the lecture demo, which is traditional, and the one with the aid of the instructional video, which is more effective in football shooting skills. So there are two sections, again, of sophomore college students of almost equal skill ability from the University of Santo Tomas, which is in Manila, Philippines. Now, both groups were taught a lesson. So I started, of course, I have to start with a little warm up. And then after that, a series of stretching and conditioning, because this is a physical activity and I have to condition their body. And then I started teaching the basics of the shooting skill. My colleagues then asked me, why don't you teach all of those skills? I said, if we are going to teach all of the skills and test it on one particular day, we cannot, because of the overloading um, thing, which is going to be in the mental and likewise on the physical. So I have to concentrate only on one skill, which is shooting. But the instructional video that I did, I have 6 skills. I have heading, I have passing, I have ball trapping, I have dribbling, right? I also have juggling on that one and then using the head. Okay, so to be more exciting, I said, why not concentrate on the football shooting skills? Why shooting? It's because this is my own thing. All right, in any sport, if you do not know how to shoot, then you do not know how to win, right? Because through making a goal, through shooting, there you can gain a point. And the more points you have, then the more chances of winning you also have, right? Okay, so that's what I did. So there are two groupings, right? So I was able to teach the other one the football shooting skills. I gave them a chance to practice. I guide them or even to correct their foot, because in Philippines football is not really that popular, unlike basketball. But then, because of the Asian Football Federation Championships that was held here a couple of days ago, and the Philippines did it. The Philippines made it in the championship round against Thailand, and Thailand has been the most popular and the most competitive team, and they've gone through several World Cup stint, and gladly we were able to beat them. Now I'm talking, of course, the women's national team, right? So Thailand has been eliminated. All right. Now, so because of that, it is hard for me to teach football because of its non popularity in the Philippines. All right. But then I said, this is your physical education class. You better learn, because who knows, one of these days we could be in the championship. And thank God, because we were able to prove that we can compete in football. So then again, one was taught with the traditional lecture demo method, in which I am the only one who demonstrated the video or the skill with the two groupings of the students, the Monday group and likewise the Wednesday group. But on the Monday group, I also have the black team and the yellow team. Same thing goes with my Wednesday group, wherein they also had this black team and then the yellow team. Okay? Now, we are going to talk about the other group, the experimental group. The, the traditional method has been taught on the Monday group. No instructional video that was provided to them. So what I did, I just let them do the particular skill, give them time to practice, And that's it. But then on my Wednesday class, aside from demonstration and giving them time to practice, I asked them if they would like to see the instructional video that I did to hasten their mental ability on how to do it. It's because I believe that things we did or things we do comes first in our mind before execution. I hope you agree with me on that. So there goes the particular thing. But prior to that, before, okay, on the process of experimentation, I tested their talent. Okay, I asked them to do a particular shooting skill without me teaching first the basic, and then I get the sum total. I get the difference. Do I do statistics for me to determine if they really know how to do the skill? Okay, and then after that, there comes the proper demonstration, and then make them practice. Divide again the group. This one for Monday group, in which you will only have to learn through the demo that I did. But for the Wednesday group, you will have to practice this one with the aid of the instructional video that I created. After getting all the statistics on the pre-tests, so after that, again, the demo and then the video. Then after which, I took another test for the posts evaluation, in which I come to assess whether the video has been effective and the teacher-led demonstration only comes, is it at par with the instructional video group as an added lecture for them to deal more with the skill that I asked them to do, right? So the statistical tools used to present the findings of the study were the mean, standard deviation, and the t-test. I also have Innova, but then that only used to measure if there's this distinction whether the technical group or the technological group goes better than the business group, than the education group, or the science group. So that is only for an added thing so that we can determine who's more into physical activity, whether it's the one who's taking the engineering courses or the one who's on the business or the science or the education. All right. Then again, both groups were not familiar with football shooting skill or with the game of football, as revealed by the pretest scores obtained by both groups, which are relatively low. It's really very low because they do not have any knowledge on that. And gladly, significant gain in knowledge was noted in both groups as reflected in the significant increase of their scores. Okay, let us now have the research paradigm. As I talked to you then, this one came from the Institute of Physical Education Athletics of the University of Santo Tomas, second year football college. Because in the Philippines, they have to complete the whole of their physical education class during the first and the second year. So they will need to have four semesters of finishing Path Fit 1, Path Fit 2, Path Fit 3, and Path Fit 4. Path Fit stands for the physical activity through fitness, right? So I have this first section, which is the Monday group, which is the control group. the second section, which is the experimental group on a Wednesday group. And then we have the comparison of the results of the pretests. After quantifying and tallying, okay, so I have to demonstrate this, right? The shooting skill performance. Given the Monday group, the traditional way, and the experimental group, which is the instructional video material plus the traditional way of teaching. So we notice that there's this um, inclusion or injecting the video material for them to study more. And then again, we need to test the Monday group, which is the first section, and then the Wednesday group, which is the second section for the post-test evaluation. And then from there, we check what is the basis for enhancement of the physical education curriculum. Okay? Now, but before that, maybe we ought to know the following questions. Okay? What are the performances in the shooting examination of the students in the control and experimental group? Is there a significant difference between the performance of the participants in the control and experimental groups in the pretests? Number three, is there a significant improvement in the performance of each of the two groups from pre-test to post-tests? Number four, what are the performance in the shooting examination of the students in the control and experimental groups after instruction? Number five, is there a significant difference in the performance of the two groups after instruction? And number six, is there a significant difference in the shooting performance of the students when grouped by some variables? The hypothesis goes that there is no significant difference between the performance in the pretest shooting of respondents in the control group in comparison with the experimental group. That's for number one. For number two, there is no significant improvement in the performance of each of the two groups from pretest to post-tests, which of course is unlikely, right? Number three, there is no significant difference between the performance of the control and experimental group after instruction. And number four, there is no significant difference in the shooting performance of the students when grouped by some variables. Okay, now for the table 3, okay, it's obviously that the reason to this one jumping into number 2, it's because there is really significant improvement. All right, so focusing on table 3, now we have the experimental and the control group. So for the control group, we have the frequency of 12. For the 2 to 3, these are the scores. I have given them 5 balls to kick in front of the goal, wherein they have to shoot. Of course, they do not only shoot the way they want it. I have to check as well how correct is their form, their timing, their coordination, and the overall performance on how they execute the shooting skills. You may notice here that there is nobody that took 1 on their score. So I have to use 2 to 3, 4 to 5, and then the total. Okay? For the control group, we have 12, and then 10, and then 22. All right? Now we are only talking about the frequency. And then for the experimental, we have 7, 13, 20. The mean is 3.8. and then for the experimental, and 3.4 for the control group. Standard deviation 0.095, and for the control groups, for the control group it is 0.99. But the table 2 also says, sorry for that, all right, the result of the t-test on the pretest score of the experimental and control group. Sadly, it says here that for the control group, we have 22 for their scores, and then experimental, we have 20. Okay, the mean goes 1.8 and 2.2. Okay, and then we have this 0.3379 for the quantification, and the t-value is 1.183, critical value is 2.021, and the decision says we have to accept the null hypothesis, that there is no significant difference between the experimental group and the control group prior to the post-tests. Okay? Okay, jumping into the 4.1, the increment in the performance of the experimental and control group from pretest to post-test. Now you will see here that for the experimental group, we have 0 to 1 getting 4, right? And 2 to 3 scores, 16 students were able to get it. For the control group, we have 13 and then 9. Okay, this is the percentage, of course. And the total, 20, and then the 22. Now, you may notice that for the control group, we were able to have at least a higher score than the experimental group. And the 4.2, sorry for this one, this is a bit blurry. Okay, for the critical value of t, which is 1.792, and t for the 1.721, we have to reject the null hypothesis. There is significant increment. Likewise, we have to reject the null hypothesis here, which has a increment of better performance. Okay? So because of that, we need to, because this is the result of the t-test on the increment of the performance of the experimental and control group from pretest to post-test, which means that there is this adjustment wherein the performance went well. So the pretest scores is lower. For the post-test, it becomes higher this time. For table 5, we have the result of the t-test on the post-test scores of the experimental and the control group. Okay, so quantity again, we have the X, SE, computed T, and the critical value. So experimental group, we have 20, and then control group 22, 3.95 here and 3.30. All right, and the critical value now, the computed T is 2.207 and the critical value is 2.021, and the decision is to reject the hypothesis. There is significant difference from the experimental group, right? Okay. The 6.1 says the result of t-test in the comparison of the performance of the experimental and the control groups by gender. Because we need to know if the males are doing better than the female. Here, for the experimental group, we have 21 male and 21 female. For the control group, we have 15 males and 29 females. Okay. The mean, we have 3.81 and then 3.52 for the experimental group. And then we have 3.50 and 3.80 for the female on the control group. Okay. There you go with the computation again, 0.29, 0.34, 0.988, 890. The critical value is 2.021 for the experimental group. And for the control group, we have the 2.019. So we have to accept the null hypothesis here. Okay, both accepting the null hypothesis. Results of analysis of variance on the shooting performance of the control group as categorized by the course pursued. Now, this is what I'm trying to tell you about the technological courses and between the technological courses, the business, the education, and the science. Among groups, all right, okay, we have this sum of the squares, 9.036. Okay, about the DF, we have 2 here. The mean square, 4.518. Okay, standard deviation, 0.96 for the total. And within groups, we have 41 here, 38.120, and the mean square is 0.930, standard deviation, frequency. The total, 43, sum of squares, 47.160, and we have this for the 3.22. Okay? This is what I'm trying to tell you, the comparison now between the technological and education. The difference is significant because of the t-value, the mean here, the critical value. So we may notice because of the figures here that the difference is significant, thereby proving that the technological courses, which is in engineering, we also have the architecture here because this is a mixed class, and likewise architecture and fine arts. So the difference is significant. For the comparison between the technological and business, we have 4.6 and 3.6 here. The t-value 2.69 to 2.035. Surprisingly, the difference is not significant. Okay? And for the education and business, 3.2 and 3.6, and t-value 1.078, 2.035, difference is significant, right? And because of that, I would like to tell you that in the conclusion, it says there that providing an instructional video to our students will give us more edge than just doing the lecture demo. It's because we have this online session wherein the students in or the teachers in physical education, they just demonstrate in front of the screen and then ask the students to do it. But then it's really very, very hard, very, very unusual because this is not face to face. And the instructional video provided an added lecture for them to cognitively process everything in mind so that during the practice they will be able to check somehow that the video says like this, which means I have to do what the video says in comparison with the lecture demo plus the instructional video, thereby having two instructions at one point in time. So I suggest, guys, that for us to enhance our curriculum, for us to enrich our curriculum, especially in physical education, guys, I would like you to have your own instructional video. It's because the students will also believe in what we can do because of the mimicking thing, which says that for us to be able to give them 100% of what we would want to share, then we better prove them that we can demonstrate as well as we can go on a higher higher performance by creating an instructional video of our own. All right. So with that, I say thank you, everyone. This is a short, but I say meaningful. I hope one time I can share with you my instructional video, which is very interactive. It is about 30 minutes. It could be a little too well, but then it really is something. I hope then again, one time I will be given a chance to share it with you and to share it with everyone, countrywide, um, nationwide, or even those who's interested to seeing this. With that, again, I say thank you, everyone, and God bless. Thank you. Ma'am Nasreen, I am through with my presentation, and thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for sharing your knowledge with our participants. Okay, so we'll move to our Q&A session with you after the short video now.
All right.
All right, so dear audience, tonight we do not have quiz competition, so that is why we directly move to our Q&A session. So, my dear lovely audience, please write down your question in our comment box.
You may ask any question if you are quite puzzled on how I presented. Of course, I would really want you to have this video because this is the core of what I'm trying to tell you. But then Nasrin says I cannot, so it's sadly. But then I would like to
If,
share it to Nasrin because I want
yes,
Nasrin to see it.
yes, if you want to share it,
Yes, I will. I will.
you can give if you can give the link in our chat box, so then we'll share it in comment box, ma'am. If
Yes.
there any link you have.
No, no, there's no link yet because likewise, like what you told me, the copyright issue. I
Yes.
cannot even upload this in football. I cannot. So I would like to share it just for you to see, but then this is
So
live in
that
YouTube.
okay. But if you share the video in live, the live video will be, deleted because of copyright issue. That means the whole program that you share your presentation that will be deleted.
Oh, sad.
That's
It's
the
so
big
sad,
problem.
Nasrin. Yes, ma'am, Nasrin. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, dear audience, still we are waiting for your question. Please go ahead in our comment box and ask your question.
Maybe they would like, okay, maybe they would like to know how I arrived, how I did it, how I conceptualize all of those. All right. So at least for us not to bore each other, then maybe I have to at least try to tickle a little of your imagination how I did this. All right. Normally I tried what can I do with my class and what can I do with the instructional video that I had. So I said, why not do an experimental study on them, right? So because through experimentation, we can make a research. Next time, I even want to do how it is from face to face to online, right? Online to face. Because normally we tried handling the varsity players, and the varsity players went a hard time doing their training online, which is not effective. And then I said, why don't we try to create, is the online training really comparable to the face to face? And then what is going to be the result of that in their competition? Okay. But then the results already prove this is my assessment, this is my hypothesis. There is no comparison having it face to face. Online is really nothing because you cannot do teamwork. You do not have your opponent with you there. No exposure, no anything. And before you compete, you have to really deal with so many environment plus the atmosphere wherein there's this audience and then there's this live telecasts on YouTube. There you go. Yeah. Maybe you would like to ask something, Nasrin. Ma'am Nasrin.
Yes, I'm still waiting for the question from participants.
Yeah, maybe they are not into physical activity. I do understand
Yes,
that.
they said that uh, they have learned a lot. Comment from Mary. Okay, we have a question from Evelyn Perry. The question is, good evening, ma'am. Edric, is your video you use in the experimental group undergone validation? Validation?
Yes, yes. It underwent a validation. I have consulted number of coaches for the fish validation, and you may maybe mom you may want mom Evelyn, maybe you may want to know what is my credibility in doing that particular video, right? Okay. I am a member of the national team and I played for 17 long years in
Wow.
the Philippines. So I was able to create those movement through learning and presenting it to the coach for face validity. And of course, the validity was also given to them, and the copyright. I was able to patented it. And Mom Evelyn, because of that, I have to get the authority as well. Thereby, I presented this to the Asian Football Confederation umbrella, wherein the Philippines is a member. And I presented my video through research as well. So I hope I was able to, somehow get the doubt out of the mind of Ma'am Evelyn, the credibility of the instructional video that I did. Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn, for that question.
Okay, so We have a comment from Heidi. The discussion is very lively and well versed. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So still I'm hoping question from our participants. They are still watching, and so I hope the question will come.
All right. Um, Also, I encourage my colleagues to do the same thing. But then the process, they do not want to undergo the process because I have to I have to do a series of storyboard telling, I have to do script, I have to do my voice over, I have to do editing as well with the help of the educational technology group of my school, and then have it patented, have it registered. It's a long process actually, but then if you would like to create your own and leave a legacy, right? It's a legacy. Thereby you have to do this. I believe whether this is in the physical education, um, I have a colleague who did it in English subject. But of course, it's not on the topic of physical education. It dealt with basic English, I believe. So from there, they also created this one. History is also important. Okay, creating a historical background of what you are teaching. How did you underwent processes and come up with today's lesson, vis-a-vis the present situation. So very very timely.
Okay, so we have another
Yeah.
question from Ma'am Heidi. How will you apply such training to remote area, ma'am, as you study?
Okay. All right. How will I apply such training to remote areas? Okay. We have a couple of coaches. We have a couple of trainees. We have a couple of internship students who are on their OJT. We have a community service wherein we bring them there to teach students, make them do physical activity, so that will be a part of the advocacy of the school, teaching them the scientific way of doing the training. And of course, guys, that will be in partnership with the community and with the officials of the community for security reasons, right? So whenever we go there, we are being assisted, and from there we try to teach them the proper way of doing and making them and having their lifestyle to be more healthy and active as well, because sports is a good link for peace as well. We do that for peace. It's a thing that we have to promote, sports for peace, and not create animosity among us. Okay, did I
Thank
answer your question, Miss Heidi? Going to remote areas, yes, we did, we go there.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Thank
I
you.
have a question, but it's not about on topic. I want to know that what's the biggest secret about your, your your very life. So what is the secret behind this?
Oh, being enthusiastic, being positive, being being new here, meeting people like you, like Miss Heidi and the Miss Evelyn a while ago, and the others. The participation of each and every one of you is a big compliment on how we try to accommodate each one of us. Learning could not happen only if we are very passive. So we try to learn both ways, give and take. You have question, I will answer. Okay? And if I have question, you will answer. Because we cannot just do very, very passive things, or else every one of us will fall asleep, including our good host here, Miss Nasrin.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes. Anything more? Me, I'm being cheerful as well in my class. This is how I do it. I told them we are going to bond with each other. I'm going to teach you, but then I don't want you to be pressured. If you think football is hard, then I do not care whether you know anything about football. Let us try to do the activity. Let us learn, even though you fall, even though you trip. We laugh on our mistakes. Let's have the element of fun so that we can learn. I cannot be strict with you. I will play with you as well. And let us enjoy our physical activity. Then later on, they appreciate that I am already playing with them. That's how I do it in my class.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so I think we have no question from our participants. They are very pleased with your speech. Already, we have so many comments. Okay.
I hope I can see them, but I cannot.
You can see the comment box, ma'am.
Where is it then? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can see the comment, yes.
Yes. All right, all right. Okay. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. So thank you once again, ma'am, for coming in our platform and sharing your knowledge with our participants. And you're such an amazing speaker I have ever seen in our platform. Very live, very jolly, and the way you speak, it's like you're spreading positivity.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Nashrin. Thank you, Mom. And thank you, audience, as well. And I will be happy to present my other study as well if I will be given a chance to participate in the IGP again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Yes.
All right, so now we are moving to our certification process. And after the short video, we will share it. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. All right, so you can see the certification process on your screen. The program name is Class Management Through Video Podcast, and it's July 30, Saturday, and the code is IGP 1802. Let me tell you once again, the code is IGP 1802. Without this code, no one is eligible for certificates for this session. And with code, you can claim your certificates anytime from our website, and you can visit our website without an account, but you cannot do anything functionally. So just go to our website www.eduigp.com, collect your certificates, and don't forget to celebrate with IGP. Once again, thank you so much everyone for staying with us till now, and I'm inviting all of you to our next webinar tomorrow morning. So don't miss it. Invite your friends, share about Institute of Global Professionals, their works and their activities. So dear audience, till then, keep stay stay safe, keep learning, stay with IGP by your support. So good night and take care of yourself. I'm Nasrin Nisha signing off right now. Thank you.